The Oxford Dictionary defines spirituality as being concerned with the human soul as opposed to material and physical things. Psychology, on the other hand, focuses on the human mind and behavior. One seems more abstract than the other. Eastern philosophy tends to blend these two in a holistic approach, whereas here in the West, we separate them. We even equate spirituality as religion. However, that is not the case. I also believe that spirituality and psychology go hand in hand. Let me explain further in this episode. Thank you for tuning in to an episode of Merwin's Philosophy, where I explore the connection between spirituality and psychology and how that coincides with social issues we face today. Now here's the show. Like I said earlier, we separate spirituality and psychology as two separate things. Now, although I'll be explaining how the two intersect, I believe this separation is important. Spirituality is deeply personal. Even if two people share the same faith, they may practice it in two completely different ways. This is also why there are many denominations under the same faith. Take Christianity, for example. You have Catholic, Baptist, Episcopal, Methodist, and plenty of other denominations that practice the religion of Christianity, but in slightly different ways. Plenty of people started in one church and then switched to another one for multiple reasons. I've said before how millennials and younger generations are leaving the church altogether to follow their own type of spirituality, such as witchcraft and other esoterica. I'll explain why that is later in this episode, but for now, just know that everyone practices their faith in different ways. That goes for atheists as well, and don't worry, I'm going to circle back to that. Now let's talk about psychology. We're in an age now where mental health is being taken more seriously. We understand the mind and our behaviors more than we did decades ago. Traditional psychology is analytical and separate from spirituality in order to present a more concrete understanding. This is very helpful when tackling serious mental ailments such as depression and anxiety. Yes, spirituality may give you some comfort and deeper meaning to life, but a therapist can give you the concrete answers you need if you're suffering from some psychological trauma. Many people need these concrete answers and even behavioral therapy in order to start their healing. But let me break this down into two major points. The first thing I want to talk about is spirituality versus religion. Many people seem to equate the two as the same. Of course, this is not true. Almost every culture from the ancients to modern times has had some form of religion. Ancient cultures had their pantheon of gods. Christianity believes in one God. Hinduism and Wicca are two religions that are polytheistic. Many native cultures also believe in more than one God. But why do so many religions and forms of spirituality exist? Well, my theory is that spirituality provides us with answers to deeper aspects of life. Most of us are searching for some deep sense of meaning and purpose. Spirituality is a way to connect to that core sense of self beyond what psychology can give us answers to. This is why I say that religion is a type of spirituality. Those of us who are spiritual but don't follow an organized religion may still find a sense of purpose and deep meaning. This is what witchcraft, tarot card reading, and astrology can give us. Yes, it's more esoteric, but it still is a means to sense a deeper connection with the world around you. Even atheists can find a deep connection with the world and a greater purpose for themselves. An atheist doesn't believe in God or some higher power, but they may study philosophy and spend extended times in nature to feel a sense of connection and understanding with the world. And honestly, to me, philosophy can feel so abstract that it might as well be another form of spirituality. But like I said, spirituality is a way to get in tune with that deeper part of ourselves and the world in a way that psychology alone can't do. However, the danger comes in when we force others to believe in whatever faith we have adopted. This is how every religious war started. In fact, in America, we have a growing problem of very conservative and religious politicians passing laws that restrict people's autonomy and unique way of life. It's fueled by hate, fear, and misunderstanding. It's an attempt to force those that don't follow certain societal traditions to conform. And yes, that includes queer people and women. These traditions are rooted in a particular form of Christianity, one that not every Christian believes. This is just an example of how trouble arises when you take a deeply personal concept like spirituality and force people to adopt one form of it. But this brings me to my second point. Psychology aims to bring a more concrete understanding of how the mind works. It also aims to explain human behavior. We live in an age where more people are realizing the importance of mental health. Many of us can finally heal from past abuse and trauma. We're able to gain a deeper understanding of ourselves and others. There's a sense of greater self-acceptance. Emotions are tricky, and so are our reactions to those emotions. A therapist can help in that regard, but so can personal development tools and life coaching. But what if you don't have a sense of spirituality? What if you don't have some way to sense a deeper connection with other people and the world around you? Well, you start to feel disconnected. Something deep within you feels like it's missing. You can go through all the personal growth programs, personal modalities, and psychological therapy, but you may go through life feeling like you're still trying to find your purpose. You feel that life has no meaning to it, and that's a dangerous feeling to have. But let's look at the other side. There are many people who are spiritual and religious, but think that psychology is some manipulative way to mess with people's minds, or they may have some negative belief about therapy in general. Now, as a Black person who was raised in Christianity, I've seen people around me who think they won't benefit from therapy, but will instead go to some preacher or deacon. Sure, this person may give them some advice, but unless they have an unbiased view of psychology or are a licensed therapist, their advice won't do much. In fact, many people who reject psychology and therapy are unfortunately lost in delusion. They can have a very skewed perception of reality. They may believe that everything that doesn't fit in with their religious views is, quote unquote, the devil's work, and it's something to demonize, when in actuality, it's simply something they are ignorant of. Some of those people may not realize that they're being manipulated, abused, or even being held to some impossible standard, all behind the guise of religion. Psychology can help you realize when you're being taken advantage of and also help heal those internal wounds. Spirituality may help you feel a sense of connection with others, nature, and the world. And remember, spirituality does not mean religion. Organized religion is a form of spirituality that you do not have to participate in because spirituality is deeply personal. So in conclusion, spirituality and psychology give us answers we seek and enrich our experiences in life. Therapy and personal growth tools help us heal old wounds and achieve a deeper understanding of our minds and behavior. Religion and other forms of spirituality, engaging with nature and animals, and being involved in a community can give us a deeper meaning to our lives and sense of connection. This intersection between the two is something I've always been interested in, but never knew how to explore. So this podcast and YouTube channel, if you're watching the video version, is a way for me to share my thoughts and explore this concept more fully. It's the reason I started with the Life Journey series, which looks at the major arcana within the practice of tarot and relates it to psychological terms that most of us can understand. It's this connection that I find fascinating and will continue to explore. Thank you for listening to this episode. If you're watching on YouTube, be sure to leave me a comment and subscribe for more. For those of you listening through a podcast app, make sure you subscribe and leave me a review. Click the link in the show notes or head on over to merwinmccready.com to leave me a comment there. Thank you so much, and I'll see you in the next one.